Hi there folks, it's Deni. I know there are those among you who prefer online games, but there are some really cool single-player games. So you can just play them both, right? And to make your life a little easier, I brought for you games that are perfect for single-player time. There will be new games, old projects, AAA and indie stuff, so you are sure to find something to your liking. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. Well, let's start with Car for Sale Simulator 2023. It's a new game and it came out just a couple of weeks ago. It is a car for sale simulator. Everything here is pretty simple. You are just a regular person who wants to go into the car resale business. You buy your first car at an auction and try to sell it for a profit. Then you buy and sell another one and another one and another one and so on. But don't think everything here is going to be so easy. As you move up the ladder, you'll encounter cheating salesmen, damaged cars, lots of competition and so on. But still, you have the goal of becoming the most successful and richest car dealer in town. This game will immerse you into the real atmosphere of business life. You will be constantly participating in buying and selling, inspecting cars, talking to your clients, managing your company, and then in the evening after a hard day's work you will have time to your personal life. So you wanted to try yourself as a reseller with all its background, you can easily do it here. The first AAA game today is Far Cry 6. And it doesn't need an introduction. But anyway, it is an open-world shooter inspired by the best traditions of Far Cry series with the storyline that many gamers are used to. You find yourself in a country where everything is ruled by a villain and your goal is to, help the locals kick his ass. Of course, that's not going to happen right away. You'll have to do all this Far Cry stuff first, like take over outposts, hunt, unlock new weapons, and then go and overthrow the government. Speaking of which, you will find yourself in the fictional hot country of Yara. This is where the fierce fight against the tyrant dictator Anton Castillo unfolds. The forces of the rather, weak resistance are led by a brave man, Deni, and you will lead him into battle against the dictator's army. As usual, there will be a whole world at your disposal. You can do anything you want and go anywhere you want here. So if you get a little bored, get to Far Cry 6. Next we have Occupy Mars, the game. This is a game for those who want to really get stuck into something, ignoring the world around them. It's an open sandbox game. Here you have to survive on Mars, build and upgrade your base, discover new regions, conduct research operations, extract water, and so on. In short, you will feel in the shoes of a real colonizer. But be prepared that it's not going to be easy here. Well, life on an uncharted planet is never easy, so you will face sandstorms, meteor showers, temperature extremes and radiation, but still you will need to prepare a place for the rest of the team to arrive from Earth and create a sustainable infrastructure for life on this planet. You can set up your base wherever you want. There are plains, craters, mountains or valleys. You are also free to customize the difficulty level, your starting equipment, the weather intensity and other settings when you start the game. In general, you can make a nice environment for you and spend another evening playing this game.
Void.
Have you ever wanted to be a professional gunsmith? Well, you can do it in Gunsmith Simulator, Prologue, of course. It is a simulator, as you can see. Here will open your own workshop and will, well, take orders from customers on the gun stock platform. You'll be working with several popular gun models: a shotgun, a vintage revolver, and an automatic rifle. You'll be able to take weapons apart, clean them, analyze the condition of components, and replace or repair them on your gun table. What's more, in addition to learning about the structure and functioning of different weapons elements, you can also show your own creativity here. You can modify the weapon to your liking, like you can replace plastic components with carved wooden ones, or you can add different accessories. You will also be able to test the weapon in action on targets at the shooting range after your work. All in all, it's a real find for anyone who likes dealing with guns. Everyone who wants to try something interesting in the project should definitely look at Darkest Dungeon 2. This is a roguelike game with some tactical RPG elements. Here you lead a small squad and go on a dangerous journey through the ruined world to stop the apocalypse. And you may think, oh my god, there are obviously gonna be all sorts of terrible enemies that are gonna kill my characters. But no. Well, sure, there will be some monsters here too, but your main threat is your characters themselves. Battles do have consequences for them, and they tend to get stressed, scared, insane, and have other negative effects. So you must not only fight monsters, but also take care of the mental health of your characters, as well as their equipment, provisions, and their relationships with each other. And trust me, it's not going to be easy. But anyway, let's move on. Your journey through this world will happen in real time. You'll be able to choose your direction of travel, stop to rest or search for resources, and make choices that affect the course of the story. The battles here are turn-based. You will be able to use the abilities of your characters and also the items around you. Basically, it will be interesting but challenging. I warned you. Next up, we have Stranded: Alien Dawn. This is a really cool survival simulator. You take on the role of a human trying to survive on an alien planet. Your job is to protect your people from starvation, disease, extreme weather, and alien creature attacks. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Yes, the game is very similar to RimWorld, but here the emphasis is on base building and defense against enemies, and you also have to monitor the physical and mental condition of your colonists. Each of them has their own story, abilities and character traits, a little bit like The Sims, but anyway, despite the fact that the game is based on the group survival, you can choose one of 3 scenarios when starting the game: spaceship crash, trade outpost, and military outpost. Your main task and the number of survivors depend on the plot you choose. You can also choose the game difficulty or add some special things to your liking. Anyway, here we'll have the space for your own rules. Next, we have Rawenswatch, a role-playing adventure game with a top-down view. This game will tell you the story of fallen heroes of ancient tales and legends who find themselves on the verge of a final battle against the nightmare that has invaded and destroyed their world. You'll have to choose one of 6 characters, each with their own unique abilities and fighting style, and then fight your way through the crowds of monsters found by the darkness from the evil epicenter in the heart of the Ribiri Kingdom. In addition to the usual techniques like attacks, blocks, dodges, you'll be able to use special moves and combos. You'll meet both allies and enemies on your way, collect magic items and enhancements that will help you in your battle. By the way, the levels here are randomly generated. There are 3 story chapters, but so far, well, only one of them is available. The others are expected to come out during this year, so if you are willing to wait a bit, go for it. The next game I brought for you is Sifu. It's a pretty realistic third-person action game with some challenging kung fu style combat. This game will tell the story of a young kung fu apprentice who wants revenge for murdering his family. But here there are a lot of enemies and they are dangerous, so you will have to try hard. The locations here are very versatile, like you will be fighting in nightclubs and in huge office buildings. The gameplay here is based on hand-to-hand combat and making all sorts of combos, blocks, parries and dodges. In general, everything is pretty standard, but you need to be very careful, because here the enemies won't wait for their turn and can attack you from different directions at once. Oh, and one more thing, your character has one special thing. He can revive after death with a mystic amulet, but each time he becomes several years older. And guess what? Yes, you'll only have to take him through in one lifetime. So if you die too many times, you just get too old and weak to keep fighting. By the way, there was a recent update that added 5 new modes, 9 new locations and 45 challenges. Sounds like a good reason to try this game now. Another AAA game today is Resident Evil 4. This is an iconic horror shooter game created by Capcom. In this game you'll control Special Agent Leon S. Kennedy, who you 100% know from past games. But anyway, Leon sets out to rescue the daughter of the President of the United States, Ashley Graham, who has been kidnapped by a mysterious cult. But he soon discovers that the villagers and infected with the parasite Les Placas. This creature controls the minds of the infected and makes them quite, aggressive. So, just like in past Resident Evil game, you'll have to fight crawls of enemies, solve puzzles, search for weapons and supplies on your way to save Ashley, and then make sure nothing bad happens to her on the way back. Plus, here you'll meet up with your old friend, the spy Ada Wong, so be ready for a bit of a love story. Anyway, though this game looks very up to date, the developers have kept everything that fans of this game series loved so much almost 20 years ago. So if you want to feel a little bit nostalgic or you just want to try this great game, go ahead. And then we have more than a remake. It's a whole relaunch of the famous game series. Of course, I am talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's a first-person shooter that will take you to the modern world with the brutal military conflicts. The story campaign here lasts about 6 hours. It will tell you about the fight against a terrorist organization that threatens the global order. During the campaign, you control various characters, including the legendary Captain Price, and as is usually the case with these games, you are offered a variety of missions. Like you'll have to infiltrate secret base, rescue hostages, engage in gunfights and chases, and so on. The game really stunning with its graphics, atmosphere and dynamic, and it even makes you face difficult moral dilemmas and witness the cruelty of war. Unlike previous games, this one is more realistic and challenging. You can die from just a few shots, your allies are not always ready to help you, and large groups of enemies can give you a real living hell. But if you're a good shot, you won't have any problems, and if you are not, it's time to learn how to be. Next we have Evil West, a third-person mystical western game with some RPG elements. Here you have to fight vampires, zombies and other monsters that have taken over the Wild West. You can choose any weapons and gadgets you want, improve your skills and abilities with some perks. So, standard RPG stuff. But what's so special about this game is that you can use classic revolvers and shotguns, as well as all kinds of cool cool futuristic plasma guns and electric gloves. You are allowed to combine shooting and melee, and there is also fatalities, just like in Mortal Kombat. The graphics here are great, the gameplay is very dynamic, the story is quite interesting, plus the soundtrack is pretty nice. What else do you need for a cool single-player game? By the way, have you ever seen such games with a mix of futuristic and something old like Wild West? Write down in the comments below. Are there any other games like this that I haven't heard of? Well, we've already seen Far Cry 6 today, and now I brought you something similar to it, yet still totally different. This is Crysis 3 Remastered. I think it's no secret that the first Far Cry game was made by the same people that created the Crysis series, so this one also has an open world, but it's more like linear. Like in Far Cry, you are playing as an extremely cool fighter that can destroy armies by himself, but the storyline here is much more amazing, and the gameplay is much more dynamic because of some protagonist features. The story of Crysis series is based on an alien invasion on Earth, and the protagonist in his nanosuit based on alien technology is trying to stop them. In the third game, you will finally defeat the aliens and save the Earth, but it won't be that easy at all. The suit allows you to, jump high, become invisible, increase your strength and armor, and can even bring you back from the dead. So as far as gameplay goes, there is a lot of interesting stuff here. Sometimes you need to pass through enemies while being invisible, and sometimes you need to stand under the tank's muzzle, crawl back to recover, and so on. So trust me, once you will put on this suit, you will definitely want to have one in real life. The last thing I'm gonna show you today is Session Skate Sim. It's a great one for those who like skateboarding. It's probably the most realistic skateboarding sim I've ever seen. It's used a dual stick control system. Each stick is like one of your character's legs. You have to learn how to control them and transfer weight, just like in real skateboarding. So just like in real life for a newbie skater, the first few hours may seem like hell, but once you get the hang of it, you will feel better than ever. Here you can also customize your character or your skateboard. Well, this game is not for everyone, I would say, but still, if you like this kind of stuff, why not? Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting, and if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni, see ya guys soon.